University, where we take adult shit and cut it into kid-sized pieces. My name is Miss A, and today we'll be talking about moving. Since the factors involved in moving are relative to each person, this classroom discussion is simply dedicated to giving you an outline that will help you to create a POA, a plan of action, that will hopefully allow you to move quickly and relatively painlessly. With that being said, let's get started, shall we? The first things you're going to need are 2 dates. Your move-out date and your move-in date. Now you may think this is a no-brainer, but if you don't set solid dates in place, how can you coordinate a smooth move? With these 2 dates, it will allow you to create a framework by which you can work forward or backwards from. So make sure you have 2 dates, your move-in date and your move-out date set in place. The next thing you want to be aware of in creating your POA and be in compliance with is the move-out policy and or requirements of your living situation. Now, if you're living on your great aunt's couch, I'm pretty sure she doesn't need but a 24-hour notice and she'd happily help you move out, no questions asked. But if you're contracted either verbally or physically in a living situation, then you definitely want to give those people or that person notification right away and be in compliance to whatever they're asking for you to move out of the situation that you're in. On the flip side of things, you definitely want to make sure that wherever you're moving into, you're in compliance and aware of all that it takes to move into that place, because you basically don't want to be homeless. So, no later than a week to your move-in date, you should be in contact with that person or organization, whatever your living situation is going to be, so that everybody is on the same page and your move-in date is just as smooth as your move-out date. Now that we've got the framework of your POA in place, the next things I'm going to provide you with are tips. Now, these tips will be separated into 2 categories, a soft move and a hard move. Consider a play on words or not. What I simply am trying to do is give you tips that are based in 2 different ways. The first move is a soft move. These are the things, of course, you're doing along with the hard move, but the soft move really represents anything that's non-physical. And the hard move, of course, is anything that's physical. You're picking up your lamp, your bed, your clothes, etc. So here we go. First tip is to notify any services that you use and or pay into right away. This will be your cable bill, your water bill, most bills basically, and also the postal office. You definitely want to make sure that anybody that you are paying a service fee to, that they know that you're moving, so that you don't get a late fee or an additional fee. Basically, you want to make sure that you're not accruing costs that is unnecessary, and that you transfer everything over to wherever it needs to be, whether that is to your new mailing address or over to a roommate, so that you have little to no obligations or little to no interruptions in your service. The next thing you want to do is gather all your important documents and or certifications and put them in one place that is safe and dry and accessible to you whenever you need it. This is important because you don't want to accidentally pack your birth certificate in some box that you forget which one it is and you have to unpack everything. And if you find that you don't have the important documents that you're looking for and that you need to have in this one place, then you definitely want to start the process of them getting duplicated and sent your way. So that if someone needs to ask you for any of that documentation, you don't end up scrambling at the last minute or not getting what you need because of such. So make sure you have all your documentation in one place and make sure it's safe and dry and accessible at any time to you. If you're moving with a job, then you definitely want to coordinate with your HR department about how that is going to happen. They'll be the ones that will help you smoothly transition over to your new location, position, or department. If you're currently working and you plan to move, then you definitely want to put in 2 weeks notice. This is a 2 weeks notification to your boss or department or organization that you are going to be leaving them and you no longer want to work for them. Now, you want to make sure that your end date of your 2 weeks notice doesn't coincide with your move out date. It never fails that there's always last minute emergencies. And if you put those 2 dates together, that doesn't leave you much time to handle your business. So make sure that your end date of your employment is a couple of dates out from your move out date. If you're moving and you want to get the ball rolling in your new place of residency, then you definitely want to make sure that you're applying to jobs online. This will help you have maybe a couple of options in terms of interviews available to you upon you moving to your new place. And if you're not really sure about the job prospects of that area, you might want to consider signing up with a temp service, a temp agency I should say, right away so that you can have some kind of income while you're trying to look for the permanent job that you want. If you're unemployed and you're moving, make sure that the unemployment agency is aware that you're moving so that your services or your benefits don't get interrupted. And my last soft move tip for you is, if your move out date and your move in date don't coincide, then you might want to consider using Airbnb as a great alternative transition space or place to live while you are waiting for your time to move in. Now let's move on to the hard move tips. This of course represents anything that is physically going to be lifted up and out of your place of residency. The first thing you want to consider is, or decide on, is what you're going to do with all the furniture and or bulk items that you have. Now, if you're not going to move with them, then you might want to consider selling them on Craigslist or Facebook. But if you are going to move with them, first you want to decide if you're going to move these items yourself with a couple of friends or family members and rent a U-Haul, or you want to decide if you're going to go with an actual moving company and do some comparative shopping. That is, get a couple of price points from different companies according to what you're going to move so that you can decide the most effective and cost-efficient way to move. If you decide to move and you don't want to take your furniture with you and you don't want to sell on Craigslist or Facebook, well then you might want to consider giving it to charity as a tax write-off. It's a great way to help someone else out and yourself out at the same time. Now that we got the big items out the way, let's talk about the small items. Smaller items being things that are easy to pack with little to no effort in a box. The first thing you want to do is separate the things you do want to keep from the things you don't want to keep. And the things you don't want to keep, you might want to consider either giving them to charity as a tax write-off or selling them. And I'll put a list right here of places that you might consider selling online or offline. Now that you've figured out what you want to do with the things you don't want to move with, you want to break down the things that you do want to move with into similar item categories. That will help you pack more efficiently, and of course, and upon doing that, you want to keep a list of the items and number the boxes so that you can effortlessly refer to them if you need to. And my final tip to you in the hard moving category is that all your essentials, anything that you need all the way up into your move out date, should be packed away from the things that you are packing in those boxes that you're moving with, so that you don't end up having to open up all kinds of boxes to find your toothbrush, your face wash, etc. Make sure that you have just enough items when you're doing the majority of packing. Make sure that you have just enough items clothing-wise and toiletry-wise that you need to get you all the way up into the move out date so that you can just throw those things in a bag and move. Well, that's it for today. Just a few tips to help you create a successful move out POA. Thank you for attending class. Go ahead and do your homework by subscribing to this channel and thumbs up in this video. My name is Miss A, and until next time, remember, you must be this tall to pay bills.